Over the years, many have speculated that Sister Wives star Kody Brown favored his fourth wife, Robyn Brown, and the polygamous patriarch just admitted it. 55-year-old Kody made his television debut in 2010 as the head of a large plural family. At the time, he had 3 wives and 12 children, but during season 1, he married his fourth wife, 45-year-old Robyn, and added her 3 children from her first marriage to the family. At his polygamous peak, Kody had 4 wives and 18 children, but throughout the last few years, 3 of Kody's wives have left him. Sister Wives Season 19 premiered to find Kody in a monogamous marriage with his last remaining wife and wondering where it all went wrong. Now that he's not trying to salvage his other marriages, he can finally be honest about his feelings. Though Kody has always claimed he valued his wives equally, he recently admitted otherwise. Kody drove 3 wives away. More wives, more problems. Families are complicated, and plural families are even harder to manage. Things were easier for the Brown family when they all lived under the same roof. Once they left Utah and moved into 4 separate homes, everything changed, especially after Robyn joined the family. Kody's third wife, Kody Brown, was the first to leave Kody in 2021, followed by his second wife, Janelle Brown, and his first wife, Meri Brown, in 2022. The bottom line is that Kody couldn't keep all of his wives happy. Kody probably entered into polygamy for the wrong reasons. As he explains during an early episode of Sister Wives Season 19, after he married his first wife, Meri, they were so unhappy together that he took on another wife to dilute the bad situation. Ultimately, more wives just meant more problems. Kody is loyal to Robyn. He finally admitted it. Kody had always been relentlessly hounded by speculation that he favored Robyn over his other wives, which he always vociferously denied. During a recent episode of Sister Wives Season 19, Kody finally admitted that his loyalty is to Robyn. He said that not only had Robyn always been nothing but loyal to him, she had always been unwavering in her loyalty to her sister wives. Anyone who has watched the show would question whether Meri, Janelle, and Kody would agree with Kody about Robyn's so-called loyalty. Kody and his exes don't talk. Too much water under the bridge. Kody and his 3 ex-wives are all still furious about the dissolution of the family. Kody moved on and married David Woolley, and isn't on speaking terms with Kody and Robyn. They ran into each other at Kody Brown's baby shower and didn't even acknowledge each other's presence. Janelle hasn't spoken to Kody since they fought about their older children, while it's unclear whether Meri has spoken to Kody and Robyn. Since they'll have to see each other at family events for the rest of their lives, the Sister Wives stars should find a way to get along. Sister Wives signs Janelle Brown will try polygamy again. Sister Wives star Janelle Brown walked away from her polygamous marriage to Kody Brown in 2022, but there are signs that she's open to trying polygamy again. Janelle was Kody's second wife, and she wasn't the only wife to leave him over the last few years. His third wife, Kody Brown, ended their relationship in 2021, and his first wife, Meri Brown, walked out on him in late 2022. By the time Sister Wives Season 19 premiered, Kody was in a monogamous marriage with his fourth wife, Robyn Brown. Since leaving Kody, Sister Wives Season 19 stars Kody and Meri have made it clear that they are finished with polygamy. Kody has even remarried since leaving the plural marriage. She and her husband, David Woolley, are in a very monogamous marriage, and they both intend to keep it that way. Meri is still single, but she seems to have learned that polygamy isn't for her and is looking for a one-woman kind of man. Unlike her former sister wives, Janelle has other ideas. Janelle didn't want Kody's undivided attention. She enjoyed her independence. With 4 wives, Kody would spend one night with each wife, then rotate to the next wife. This meant each wife would only see her husband every few days. While Kody and Meri often felt like they didn't get enough of Kody's attention, Janelle liked that he was only around every few days. During a recent Sister Wives Season 19 episode, the 55-year-old Sister Wives cast member and mother of 6 talked about how difficult it was to have to deal with Kody's food allergies when he was around, so she liked that it wasn't every night. Janelle enjoyed polygamy. She says she'd do again. Whereas Kody and Meri would never settle for sharing a husband again, Janelle is open to being a sister wife. She believes when polygamy works, it's a wonderful lifestyle that offers community and support from a large network of loving people. Though her marriage to Kody didn't work out, The Sister Wives season 19 star blames the failure more on Kody than on the institution of plural marriage. Will Janelle go back to Kody? Robyn thinks so. Kody's fourth wife, Robyn, didn't just want a husband, she wanted the whole plural family experience. When Robyn met Kody and his family, they were one big happy clan, and she wanted that close-knit happiness for herself. Now that Kody killed Robyn's dream of growing old with her sister wives, Robyn is desperate for Kody to try to salvage his marriage to Janelle. This seems to be delusional because Janelle appears to be thoroughly finished with Kody, and he's just as done with her, but anything is possible on Sister Wives. Sister Wives, I'm convinced Kody Brown should have stayed single longer before marrying David Woolley. Sister Wives star Kody Brown got remarried quickly after leaving polygamous patriarch Kody Brown, but I'm convinced that she should have stayed single a little bit longer. 52-year-old Kody was 55-year-old Kody's third wife, and they had 5 children together. By the time they tied the knot in 1994, Kody was already married to Meri Brown and Janelle Brown. 16 years after marrying Kody, Kody would marry Robyn Brown and adopt her 3 children from her first marriage. Everything changed after Robyn and her children joined the family, and by the time Sister Wives season 19 premiered, Kody's first 3 wives had left him and the family was hopelessly divided. Kody was the first of Kody's wives to leave, walking away from the marriage in 2021. Kody was always Kody's most jealous wife, and she struggled to know Kody openly preferred his 4th and youngest wife. Kody met David Woolley soon after leaving Kody, and the two were married quickly, but I wish Kody had stayed single a little longer. Kody enjoyed dating, exploring her independence. Viewers recently welcomed the highly anticipated return of Sister Wives season 19, and the season was filmed before Kody met David. During the season's second episode, Kody talks about how much she's enjoying being a single woman for the first time in her adult life. She seemed to be learning a lot about herself and having a great time meeting potential suitors. I think it would have been good for Kody to enjoy her independence a little longer before getting remarried. Kody and David rushed into marriage. She can't be alone. Kody met David soon after leaving Kody, and they dated for less than a year before moving in together. I was surprised by Kody's decision to move in with a man she wasn't married to, especially because her youngest child, Kody Brown, was still living with her at the time. It was a major departure from who I thought Kody was and a sign that the Sister Wives season 19 star had changed dramatically since leaving Kody. Kody's first wedding wasn't ideal as it was attended by her husband's other 2 wives. This time around, Kody was thrilled to be marrying a man who was hers and hers alone. Kody and David's October 2023 wedding was documented for a 2-part Sister Wives special which aired in January. Kody wore an off-the-shoulder wedding dress, choosing to show off her tattoo, while David wore an all-black suit. How do Kody's children feel about her marriage? They support her. Kody had 6 children with Kody, who all approved of her marriage to David. On the night before the wedding, some of Kody's daughters reflected on their mother's big day. Aspen Brown was excited for her mother, and her younger sisters, Kody Brown and Janelle Brown, agreed. Kody's other daughter, Kody Brown, said she had already accepted David as her stepfather. He's obsessed with her, and so it's nice to see that. Janelle said, and he should be, she's awesome. I think it's great that Kody maintains such close relationships with her adult children. The love and support don't stop with her biological children, as she's also still very close to Janelle's kids. The women had children around the same time, so they raised them as one big happy family. While the children were growing up, Kody and Janelle were the main breadwinners, and Meri worked too, so Kody did the lion's share of the day-to-day childcare. This is why so many of the Brown children are still close to Kody, even after she's no longer married to their father. While Kody maintains close relationships with many of the adult Brown children, Kody is barely on speaking terms with many of them. I find it especially depressing that Kody didn't learn his lesson after the death of his son, 25-year-old Garrison Brown. Garrison was Kody's son with Janelle, and the 2 men weren't on speaking terms when Garrison died in March. I naively expected that the tragedy would open Kody's heart, but he continued to stubbornly refuse to make amends with his children. Kody should have dated more. She should have enjoyed being single. David is a widower with 8 children and 10 grandchildren, so they have a huge blended family. It wasn't long before Christine and David were engaged and then married in a televised wedding attended by select members of the Brown family. Though David initially expressed no interest in appearing in Sister Wives, he was somehow convinced to change his mind. David seems like a great guy, but after 27 years of marriage to Kody, I think Christine would have benefited from spending a little more time with herself.
What are you guys doing?
We're talking about Flagstaff because we're not going to talk about Flagstaff anymore after Friday.
Sister Wives star Kody Brown is unable to move forward from the life he once shared with his wives Meri Brown, Janelle Brown, Christine Brown, and Robyn Brown. Together, Kody and his polygamous family had 18 children, and they worked tirelessly to defeat stereotypes about plural marriage while also avoiding prosecution. The Browns thought they had found peace at last after moving from Las Vegas to Flagstaff, Arizona. Unfortunately, the move marked the beginning of the end for their family. 3 of Kody's 4 marriages imploded within 2 years. Christine announced she was divorcing Kody in November 2021. Just 1 year later, Janelle revealed she and Kody were no longer together. Finally, Meri announced the end of her marriage in early 2023 after years of estrangement. Kody, now in a monogamous marriage with Robyn, faces intense pressure and uncertainty. He is left pining for the life he once had, and his inability to adapt has emerged as a primary cause of his failed marriages. The Brown family have ideal housing in Las Vegas. Kody longs for the days when his family was more cohesive. While reflecting on his divorces, Kody admitted his family was at its best during their time in Las Vegas. When Sister Wives premiered, Kody and his wives shared a home in Lehi, Utah. After the family went public with their plural lifestyle, they faced the threat of prosecution due to Utah's laws against polygamy. Kody chose to flee the state with his wives and children rather than risk their family being broken apart. They decided to relocate to Las Vegas. In Las Vegas, the Browns created the perfect environment for a plural family. They purchased 4 adjacent lots at the end of a cul-de-sac and had custom homes built for each wife's family. This enabled Meri, Janelle, Christine, and Robyn to have their own space, but the houses were in such close proximity that their children could easily move back and forth. Meanwhile, Kody was able to rotate effortlessly between his wives' homes. Kody is now aware that leaving behind their perfect setup changed the course of his family's future. The setup enabled the family to easily congregate while also allowing the wives to maintain their privacy. When Kody admitted Las Vegas was the best time of his life, he was alluding to the consequences of his rash decision to uproot his family. Just as his wives were getting comfortable and settling into their lives in Las Vegas, Kody convinced them to move once again. Kody is now aware that leaving behind their perfect setup changed the course of his family's future. Kody was a better parent when his kids were younger. He thrived on their dependence. Kody took pride in his dedication to being a father. Despite having more than a dozen children, he was still overjoyed at every birth. Kody's wives speak fondly about him being an attentive father when his children were younger. However, that quality diminished over time. Kody now has strained relationships with most of his adult children. Although he is close to Robyn's children, he has very little contact with the children he shares with Christine and Janelle. They suggested Kody doesn't know how to parent older children, and he became lost as his children matured. He refuses to put effort into maintaining relationships, and he can't cope with beliefs and opinions that differ from his own. When Kody reminisces about his life in Las Vegas, he recalls a time when he was constantly surrounded by his children. As they grew older and became less dependent on him, Kody failed to change his parenting. He forgot birthdays and missed holidays. Kody's estrangement from his children is something he never could have imagined back in their Las Vegas days. Kody's family fell apart after they moved to Flagstaff. Kody regrets pushing his family to move. The Browns' decision to leave Las Vegas was incredibly damaging to their family's future. Despite having built dream homes that allowed them to live as a community, Kody pressured his wives to leave it all behind. At one time, Las Vegas was considered the family's permanent home base after years of constant moving. But Kody became restless, and in Sister Wives Season 13, the family moved to Flagstaff. Unfortunately, the housing market in Flagstaff was brutal. Kody's wives were forced to live in homes spread across the town, losing their cherished family culture. Christine and Robyn, facing a limited rental market, ended up buying homes for their families. What was supposed to be a temporary arrangement became the family's new normal. With so much distance between them, the wives became comfortable living independently, and they lost the communal lifestyle they previously had. Kody couldn't adapt to his family's needs during COVID. His stubborn personality pushed his wives and kids away. Soon after their move to Flagstaff, the pandemic struck. Meri, Janelle, Christine, and Robyn quarantined with their children, effectively ending large family gatherings. Kody primarily lived with Robyn, thus beginning their monogamous life together. Just like their housing crisis, what was expected to be a temporary inconvenience dragged on, and social distancing became part of the family's routine. On top of physical separation, a huge divide broke out between the family over the necessity of social distancing. Kody and Robyn had strict criteria for the family to follow in hopes of one day gathering in person. Unfortunately, Kody's young adult children couldn't give up their social, academic, and professional lives as required by Kody's rules. Kody's children took offense at his refusal to adjust his rules for the sake of their relationship, and the family began to fracture. He refused to adapt his guidelines to enable family bonding. Kody's stubborn nature became more evident during the pandemic. He refused to adapt his guidelines to enable family bonding. Furthermore, Kody resented his children and wives who were more loose with their social distancing standards. He blamed them for keeping the family apart, when ultimately it was Kody who made it impossible for anybody but Robyn to meet his expectations. In retrospect, Kody can probably see how COVID and the Flagstaff living situation marked the turning point for his family, and he is now nostalgic for the life he had in Las Vegas. Kody is stuck in the past while his wives have moved on. Kody's resentment makes him bitter. Kody spends much of his time ruminating on the mistakes his wives and children made that led them to their current situation. He refuses to acknowledge his failures, and his focus on the past also makes him unable to move forward. Because Kody keeps harping on the perceived mistakes other people made, he can't find the forgiveness necessary to have cordial relationships with them in the present. Meanwhile, Kody's wives have moved on. Janelle's attitude is strikingly different from Kody's. She refers to her life with him as in the past, and she is focused on moving forward. Meanwhile, Meri says she doesn't even remember her life with Kody. Their relationship had been bad for so long that she can't recall what it was like to be in a functioning marriage with him. While Kody is stuck in the past, his ex-wives have let go of their hurt and resentment and are looking to the future. Sister Wives Season 19 will document the path forward for Kody and his family. With 18 children between them, Kody and his ex-wives will constantly cross paths. If Kody wants to find peace with his exes, he needs to let go of his obsession with the past and embrace an open mind for the future. Sister Wives, Kody Brown wanted to skip his son's wedding out of spite. Sister Wives star Kody Brown has a habit of whining about the problems he created himself. He has distanced himself from his older kids because of his favoritism for Robyn and her kids. The TLC star seems to have wanted to skip his son Logan's wedding. Kody Brown has failed to prove himself a good dad to his older kids. He has been in the midst of a divorce with Meri and Janelle on Season 19. The reality TV star's idea of having a big polygamous family has been crushed. Still, Kody and his exes often come under the same roof to attend to their children's happiness. But why Kody didn't want to attend his son's wedding? What was going on in his mind? Sister Wives, did TLC ignore Logan and Michelle's nuptials for Kody and Robyn's advantage? Sister Wives stars Kody and Robyn likes to be the center of attention every season. The couple threw a lot of drama about a family wedding in the latest episodes. Surprisingly, TLC has not been mentioning Logan and Michelle's wedding directly on the show. The entire family has been indirectly talking about the wedding. Later, they realized that Janelle's son was tying the knot with his long-term girlfriend. However, viewers wondered if the network sidelined Logan's wedding to keep the focus on Kody and Robyn. The network hasn't covered several major family events to the couple's advantage in the previous seasons. Meanwhile, others wondered if Logan and his wife didn't want to feature their wedding on the show for privacy reasons. Sister Wives, Kody shares why he didn't want to attend Logan and Michelle's wedding. Sister Wives star Kody Brown has considered skipping Logan's wedding in Season 19. He has already been dealing with him and Janelle's new dynamics on the show. The TLC star has already been labeled as an absentee father. Fans were in disbelief when Kody revealed that he wanted to skip his son's wedding. He admitted that he didn't want to be there with people looking at him and not talking to him. The TLC star didn't take Logan and Michelle's name directly. However, Kody noted that he talked to the bride and groom about his thoughts. He felt that he should not have attended their wedding. He explained that he shouldn't do this because of the hate he has been getting from family members. The polygamist wasn't ready to interact with Janelle and Christine at the family event. Surprisingly, the network hasn't featured Logan and his wife's wedding. Kody opened up about how the family treated him and Robyn at the ceremony. He noted, "Robyn and I were put over kind of in a corner, probably for our safety." Moreover, he saw Christine at the wedding but didn't talk to her. The TLC star felt that some of his exes were trying to prove that they were having more fun than him. Further, Kody added, "This is how childish this whole divorce has been." Janelle also expressed that it was a little awkward for her to be around Kody at the ceremony.